was born in this town.
And you'll die here too.
There's no point in asking me. I know nothing.
Hello and welcome to Retro Game Connect. I'm Dan Mastriani.
I'm Ian Butterfield.
Yeah, just another remote episode today, but it's okay. We're going to, while we're working remotely, we're going to be solving a mystery.
Yeah, the studio's a little far, so sometimes you just gotta do this.
Yeah, it happens. But we're going to be playing JB Harold Murder Club for TurboGrafx CD.
Who doesn't love a murder club?
Yes. Well, I'm using the US title, which has been simplified a little over the Japanese title. Though I do have a Japanese copy of the game. It costs a little less, but it can still be set to English. So don't worry, we're not going to have to mess around with Google Translate here.
Good, because that was really annoying.
Yeah, it's kind of painful. It's not something you want to do if you're in a hurry.
Nope.
But actually, for the benefit of anyone else who may want to save a couple bucks by getting a Japanese copy, when we start, I will walk everyone through the process of setting the game to English. And one other thing I do want to mention, this game is aimed at adults. There's, I don't think, anything really depicted graphically that is disturbing, but some of the subject matter may be something that could make people uncomfortable. So, fair warning, letting you know before we start. So let's go ahead and do that now.
Woo! Oh, it's a Hudson Soft game.
It is not. I think they just probably were just involved in porting it, since it's their system.
Same difference.
Yes, this is actually from a company called Riverhill Soft, who specialized in adventure games. Actually, one of the founders was a woman. Let me get her name correct here. It's Rika Suzuki.
Interesting.
So interesting thing is, basically, they'd founded the company and she was looking around at what games were out to kind of decide on what sort of genres they would like to cover. And she ran across Mystery House, which some longtime viewers will remember. We actually played that. This is the very first game from Sierra.
I don't remember we played that.
It's the very first graphic adventure game designed by Ken and Roberta Williams. So Rika Suzuki was inspired by a game made by another woman to focus on adventure games. Yeah, so
I like the soundtrack.
Yeah, we got a nice jazzy soundtrack. This is basically this one came out in 1986 originally. They started on home computers. I guess there was they're kind of their primary platform for most of the company's life was home computers, and this was ported to a ton of stuff. So this is actually one of the later ports, and one of the few that were released in the US. So this one is from, I think, 91. But yeah, this goes on for a while, so
Well, it's certainly older than I am.
We should probably get started here. As much as I'm enjoying the smooth jazz.
You like jazz?
Yeah. So as I promised, I'm going to walk through how to switch this to English. So once you get to this screen, you go ahead and press the 1 button to bring up the menu. Go all the way to the right. Select this option. Now
and the game explodes.
Once you're on this screen, go ahead and press the 1 button again. Once again, go to the right. Pick this top option. Pick the bottom option. And boom, the game is in English.
Dun dun dun!
Yep. Just for fun, also, we will also turn on English narration, so the game will not be voiced. So while we're in here, there are a couple things you can do from this menu. You got the analysis screen, which will show you some information. you can basically like look at all the people in the case that you've encountered. So I guess it would have
A hungry
unfortunately,
fisherman.
unfortunately would have used up too much, probably too much memory space to keep track of everything you asked them. So we are going to have to take some notes.
Trust no one but yourself. Anyway, be thorough.
Yeah, we can hear our old partner Jed Gregory, who asked us to take on this case since he got too old, had to retire. But this is the screen will tell us how far we are and doing various things in the game. So that's about all we can do from this screen. So we want to go ahead and let's see, hit restart, I think, which will take us back to the police station.
Hey, Harold. Do you intend to spend the rest of your life working on this case? Hurry up, will you? We're busy here. We got a lot of things to do in case you haven't noticed.
Okay. It's loading. Go ahead, press the button again. There we go. All right. So before we leave, we do want to go to the record room. This is one of the things that
Finally, we get to hear some more of that smooth jazz.
yeah.
Where's the jazz? Why are there no jazz records in this record room?
Yeah, this is one of the things that I did warn people about because one of the cases does involve sexual assault. So, yeah, some people may not like seeing that word. So let's. This is why I warn people. So let's just look at this quick.
At the Downs Hill Cemetery. On April
That might
23rd,
call for a
1980,
specific trigger warning in the opening.
2:30 in the morning,
Yeah, I mean,
age 21,
I'm gonna put the mature content warning. So,
Yeah, that's a specific one, though.
I mean, that's
You-
why I mentioned sexual assault before I actually opened it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is, you don't actually see anything, but it does mention it. So I did want to make sure people knew this was
The
coming.
officer fled when a security guard making his rounds came by. Ms. Shields was found
So,
lying on the ground, unconscious, with severe wounds to her face.
I guess this factors into things at some point. Though I don't know if we actually solved this case. There is the main case that we are solving, which I don't know if you want to
Ms. Shields
pull that out of the
was
manual.
description
That background information is in there.
All right. Let me flip that over. Where am I looking exactly?
It should be toward the beginning of the manual.
Which information again?
It just it'll tell you what the case is that we are working on. Got some info, some also we got
Victim
some-
Bill Robbins. How to
Yep.
play.
forward.
Oh, we're on the Bill Robbins case?
Yes, that is the main case. So that's the case we're ostensibly solving. Though I understand there are other cases we will uncover during the course of the investigation.
All right. That's the first one that comes up.
Yeah, that's the one that's detailed in the manual, but not in the game.
Reported stolen by
Okay, so we're
Robbins Trading Company.
not following that one? I'm confused.
Theft, parking lot of-
So it's weird because it's but that's the case that we're investigating. So that's our starting point.
The lock must have been broken.
Right now, I'm just looking at some of the evidence that they found. But the details of that case that we do need to know
Japanese
are only in the manual.
reported stolen by the Grand Hotel.
I'm
Manager,
not actually looking for anything in the manual right now.
location of theft unknown. The watch disappeared from the personal effects of a hotel guest. Stolen object. Butcher.
I mean, this I guess is a possible murder weapon because I believe the manual does say he was stabbed.
Owner Danny Biggers. Location of theft inside the store. The owner claims that the
Okay,
knife
so
was
I mean, so there we go. Now we know those things, and now we can go out. And this is why I wanted you to look up that case
You look dead.
because
Expression. Are you close to putting a lid on this case?
the game doesn't actually tell you where the murder happened in game.
Is this
So-
one of those, like, haha, you pirated this game, now you don't know where the murder happened things?
Well, you can just brute force it, but I think that would give us a good starting point if you want to look at.
It was found in the parking lot near the rear entrance of Hoolington College.
Okay, does it mention? I think there are some other locations. Does it mention anything else?
Hoolington College.
Yeah, well, we can go ahead and start there. Yeah, you can press select to bring up a list instead of like navigating the map with a cursor.
Nice. It's found in the parking lot near the rear of the entrance. Near the rear entrance.
Let's go ahead and look, see if there's anything useful now. Enter.
Also, if you run into a security guard.
Good to see you, Inspector.
Oh, hey.
Uh-huh.
If he's Morton Bradley, he was the guy who discovered the body.
Let's take a look. Okay.
It's good to see you, officer.
Yeah. So despite the styling of the game,
Morton Bradley.
This is the guy who discovered the body.
We got a whole bunch. I guess I don't know how important any of this stuff is, but we'll.
Oh, you need to know his blood type. How are we supposed to solve the case without his blood type?
I'm a security guard for Hoolington College.
I don't know. Like Japan puts a lot of stock into that. It's a fortune telling thing.
I know. I'm just having a laugh.
Fishing,
I'm just saying.
Working on my car. Can't think of any. I come from Bethesda, Maryland.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't belong to any, sir.
So there you go. So we'll get all that.
Ask him about. Yeah.
Yeah. I discovered. I just opened the car door and he fell on me. I've never seen a dead man before. He gave me the shakes.
But you are a rent-a-cop.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see. I think we actually see, because we looked at that report in the at the police station. We can ask him about Sarah Shields now. So I don't know if he would actually know anything about her.
I don't know her, sir.
But unlike it's actually in the U.S., it's actually released like hot in the heels of Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, which we also played previously.
Oh,
but
hey,
unlike
wait.
this,
The victim's father.
Did you read the letter from your old friend and former partner, Jad Gregory?
I don't know where that is aside from in the manual.
Sorry,
Oh.
I don't know him.
I couldn't find it anywhere in the game. So it's there's one in the manual though, so maybe that's what they're referring to.
Oh yeah, it is in the manual.
Sister.
Yeah.
She came here with her father after I discovered the body.
Oh hey, it also tells you how to read the letter in the game.
He's the medical.
Oh, really?
No, to read Jad's letter, you must choose investigation rest first, then choose investigation.
Okay, so we did do that. So yeah, that was just where he told us in some oddly phrased English to be thorough.
Okay.
We fish together sometime.
Interesting.
I don't know him, sir.
Who did he fish with?
Jeez. Paul Davis.
All right.
I had the night shift.
You know stuff's always happened at the fish docks.
Yeah.
Right about the time.
Oh, that's cool. The original manual is actually like
I couldn't get a good
a
look at
book
it.
where you can fill in all the personal records and stuff.
Yes, that's what I was saying. If we were in a position to, actually, I think I said this before we started, but if we were doing this one in person, I would have printed that out so we could take notes on that. But unfortunately, that didn't work out that way.
Jeez, was I surprised.
I'd make sure you show a few screenshots of it in the final video, just because it's neat.
I mean, it's in the Japanese manual too, so I can show people like that during the wrap up.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's what we've got. So is there any other place we can go? I think we should probably go to the scene of the crime.
There you go. crime had been thoroughly cleaned.
Yeah.
See nothing that would indicate such an incredibly brutal murder had been committed here.
One thing that does bother me is I can't seem to find any like coroner's report or any kind of other information you would think would have, since this is like 2 weeks after the murder happened.
Cause of death, excessive hemorrhaging. Circumstances surrounding death. Stabbed repeatedly from behind with a sharp object. So probably with a big knife through the car seat from behind, from the back seat. It was stabbed in the back, and it was found in the front seat of the car.
All right. So is this okay?
So was there any evidence to find?
There was not. So this looks like all we can do here.
Go after the fishing guy. Fishermen have big knives. Go to the fish. I am genuinely not joking. Go to the fishing docks.
Okay. I mean, there was
the fisherman's hungry fisherman. Go to the hungry fisherman.
Yeah, that is the bar where I think he was seen. If
Victim was last seen. Fresh fish and seafood. Dude was stabbed to death with a fillet knife from the back. Like,
well,
I've already got this.
There was the stolen butcher knives, though.
Yeah, they didn't translate it right because they would have been a fillet knife. But
I mean, if that was
I solved the murder.
Oh, it's you, Inspector. Anything I can do for you?
Let's take a look. Ooh.
Yes. What is it?
Do I not want to say hello? Whatever.
Paul David.
Okay, so this is the guy that the security guard goes fishing with.
I'm 38.
Apparently he has much older friends because the security guard is 50.
I've had this place for years now.
People can have a wide age range of friends. You should see my D&D group.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you know, I'm not throwing shade at the guy.
I like to fish. That's why I named this place the Hungry.
I mean,
special skills. Let me guess, he can fillet fish.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I have a degree from the Roberts.
Oh, there you go. He's a trained chef.
I'm from New Orleans.
Nolans? Is that supposed to be his Nolans accent?
I'm a member of the Association of Restaurant Owners.
Indeed. Okay. So, well, let's just ask him about everybody.
Don't ask him about everybody. Ask him about the pertinent people.
What? Oh, he was all alone.
Because either he did it or someone stole the knife from his establishment to frame him.
Well, there was a knife stolen from a shop. That's what I saw in the evidence locker there.
With Edward was pretty bad. Once when he was drunk, I heard Bill muttering about.
So that was the murder weapon.
Possibly.
He stabbed from behind.
Okay.
Through a chair.
Here at least twice. No, not with his brother.
At least twice. You remember the southern twang there.
Yeah.
I've never met her. Before Janet and Bill got married, they used to come here.
No, I guess they
were a nice-looking couple.
They should have got Tim Curry like Gabriel Knight did.
Right?
I don't know him. She's a good girl. I'm not big on.
Wait, isn't she dead? I'm confused.
Works real hard for me.
I don't know.
Stanley is not a bad guy, but he has a tendency to get on people's nerves. He and Mr. Robbins.
Oh, dude, the wife did it.
What? Stanley left here around midnight the night Bill was killed.
Okay. So what was the time of death?
1 a.m.
Yeah, so he's a suspect.
No.
He's sus.
I didn't go out at all until I closed the place at 2 in the morning. I went straight home after work.
So if we can confirm that.
Now that you mention it, that night when I was closing up, I saw Stanley in front of the restaurant. I was kind of surprised.
Interesting.
I wondered what he was doing there so late.
Ask about the essay.
Yeah, I mean, apparently I can ask him about it, so I will.
happened. Sarah doesn't like to talk about it, so please don't bring it up.
Oh, so she was the victim.
So she's alive? I thought it said she'd been stabbed. So either that was incorrect or she survived. I don't know.
Well, I don't have one. My wife always picks me up after the restaurant closes. Her car is yellow.
It's yellow. Is it about to run? Let's see if we has okay. So we can talk to Sarah. Okay, I guess I shouldn't bother
What do you
looking.
want to talk about? Sarah Shields.
So we know that.
How old do I look? Wrong.
Okay.
4 years old. I play the piano for all the drunks who come to this place.
He's clearly already in a good mood.
Today it's type B, but who knows what it'll be tomorrow.
That's weird. There's so many type B people in this game. That's
I'm
not a
all
very
alone.
common blood type.
I like to be by myself. I don't like to talk with cops.
Oh,
Apart from
that's
piano,
what's going on here,
I
huh?
don't have any. I was born in California.
Well, yeah, because sure, no one has bothered to arrest the guy responsible for the whole thing.
His murder goes
Yeah,
without
yeah.
I'm kind of assuming the whole Stanley thing is a red herring to the murder
But he also
because
thinks I
Stanley
would.
probably
Blonde hair.
committed the SA.
I mean, maybe I don't know
I'm
what
just-
the timeline is.
I don't know him.
I'm just thinking, depending on when that happened, I'm legit just thinking about like, okay, how would this play out as a movie?
She's been
Yeah.
here before. She looks like a gentle person.
See what happens when you ask her about that Stanley guy.
But trust me, beneath the surface is a woman capable of anything.
Interesting. Well, we'll see.
There's no point in asking me. I know nothing.
Interesting.
My boss is a good guy. He's always putting on an act. That's probably why he gets upset whenever somebody upstages him. I hate him. The night the murder took place, he was here, trying to pick a fight with Bill Robbins. I think he mentioned that he lives uptown.
Well, now we know where to find the guy.
No, I still think he'll be a red herring, but I'm sure we won't end up.
Yeah,
actually
but
finding
you got to go
him.
through all of
That's
them,
at
you know.
about 2 in the morning.
Wait,
At night I heard Bill mumble Liberty something or other. Maybe he was referring to the bank.
Do we want to ask her?
I mean, if you want,
I drive a white Mustang.
I don't think she'd care for it.
No, I don't. No, I'll leave it. I mean, you probably might have to ask her eventually, but I'm gonna leave it alone for now. All right. Well, that's everybody. So we'll take off. Yes, where on earth did Bill Robbins go? Can we go to the river? I guess not.
It says something about Liberty something, and there is a Liberty Bank.
We can try it.
Could always go to Bill Robbins' house and talk to the widow.
Yes,
Like, there's a 30% chance she did it.
it's possible. Sarah Shields did seem to want to put some suspicion on her.
Either that, or Sarah and Bill were having an affair, and that's why she doesn't like Janet.
Could be.
I'm just making this full soap opera at this point.
Yeah, you know.
I understand, Mr. Harold. The president's office is right this way.
I'm sure there are all kinds of webs of intrigue.
Our bank's business does not concern the police.
Oh, is that so?
Okay, so you're doing illegal things.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I'm thinking.
that's just how that response, what that response means from this.
Yeah, that's not
Especially
suspicious at all.
said so poorly.
Gregory Raymond.
Gregory Raymond.
I'm 50 years old.
Very round, but okay.
I'm the president of Liberty Bank. My blood type is O.
But now that we've met this guy, I think we'll be able to ask other
I
people
have
about
a
him.
wife and 3 children. I like to play golf.
So that's nice.
I'm a certified accountant. I come from Nevada.
Is that your Nevada
I
accent?
belong to a bankers association.
Okay.
I've had business dealings with him. He was young but highly skilled.
All right, good to know.
Only a few days ago, the construction of his company's new parking lot was completed.
Ah, so I guess that's the parking lot we can go to. I was wondering what the relevance was.
I've known Edward Robbins for a long time. He's a
I hope Jimmy
shrewd
Hall isn't in there.
businessman. I doubt the
Shrewd
Robbins
businessman.
company would be
Oh,
where it is today.
So maybe he was murdered by his brother.
Him.
No, that's his dad.
Either way.
Fred is his brother.
That's Bill Robbins' younger brother. I wonder whether he'll replace his brother as chief executive officer.
There's motive.
Yeah, that is a potential motive.
No, I have never met her. I've never met Mrs. Robbins.
Oh my God, the head of the bank and Bill were having an
Norman
affair.
Randall is an excellent doctor. I've gone to him on a number of occasions.
So, the coroner is also a, I guess it's a small town type of thing.
No,
Well, you know, you're cutting bodies open, whether they're alive or dead. What's it matter?
Yeah.
The name's not familiar, but then I don't know the name of all our customers.
What kind of small town bank is this?
One run by Mr. Potter.
Yeah.
I wasn't here the day it happened. I was in New York on business. At the risk of being indiscreet, the H.H. Company is in dire financial straits. I've heard that Mr. Holden has turned to some questionable sources for monetary support.
Interesting.
Oh, was he a competing business with Robbins? So now that's his motive?
Yeah, so there's no one else to talk to here. Okay, well, thank you. That's I think that's everything. I like the description. They're trying to be evocative.
Right.
All right, so let's think about this. We can go to the company. I don't know if it says in the manual or where I saw this, but I think he was seeing. There's the hotel. I'm gonna go to the hotel because I saw somewhere.
Go back to.
There. Oh, sorry.
I was trying to read the second sheet of
Second
places.
page.
And I couldn't read it.
Well, while we're here. I mean, I know we did have evidence of something being
Welcome
stolen
to
here.
Hotel Grand. What can we do for you?
Okay.
What is it?
Should I even bother with this low? I don't know.
I don't know why you're going through everyone's name, age, occupation, blood type. Like, there's no
game
use
was-
to any of this. You're just gonna end up cutting it out. There's nothing going on here.
I don't know. I don't know what actually triggers
I
things.
like
So
to do a little bird watching now and then. I never forget a customer's name or face, even if I've only met him or her once.
that's interesting to know.
I was born in the California wine country, Kenwood, California to be exact. I sometimes meet with a group of hotel managers.
Sure.
Mr. Robbins came here on occasion.
So here we go. This is why we came because
We
hey,
had reservations for the
he
night
was
it
supposed to be
happened.
coming here the night he died.
We had prepared a room with a king-size bed for him. You can imagine his death was quite a shock.
So this is
Sure, it was
interesting.
pretty shocking to him too.
Yeah. So, when we were at the bar, it was mentioned that he was often seen with a blonde, and he had reserved a room with a king-size bed.
Mm-hmm.
Edward Robbins is one of Liberty's most prominent and respected
So,
citizens.
That's interesting
So who
information.
was he having an affair with?
Yeah, I
don't
think
know
that's
him.
something we're gonna.
I don't know her.
It's gonna be Kate
I
Holding.
have seen him discussing business with Bill Robbins.
Having an affair with the wife of a
I don't know
business
him.
rival, so he murdered him.
What, Dr. Randall?
That's a possible theory.
I don't know him.
A game theory.
She used to play
Yeah.
the piano in the bar downstairs.
Literally.
Oh, that's interesting. So she used to work at the hotel.
I don't know him. The night of the murder, I was here working. Yes, all night.
Apparently, we can ask him about.
Probably unrelated. But the night of the murder, one of our guests stayed out past 2 in the morning. A nervous man. His name is Manuel Barkley.
Well,
Hmm.
that lines up for the timing.
All right. Well, I guess we'll.
Sarah Shields stopped working here soon after it happened.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. So it was someone who works at the hotel.
It's possible.
Made that.
Thankfully, a false alarm. We were able to find it ourselves.
Hmm.
Thank you for asking.
Found the watch, huh? All right. I can't call anybody else, so I can go to the front. Yeah, I'm already there. So I guess we're done here. Going for a while. Do you want to try one more place? That was unfortunately doesn't look like we'll be able to arrest anybody, but then we can go to the company.
Scroll through.
We can go to his dad's house. The Holdings, who are having some trouble.
The next one.
And
Okay, go back. Try the bigger store. Something tells me we'll find that Barclay guy there.
that is where the knife was stolen from. Get it? Ooh.
And it was a butcher knife, and this looks like a deli.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't know if I need to do this, but I'm gonna. I don't know if it makes a difference in how they respond. You don't say hello first.
Danny Biggers.
So this is the guy that reported the knife stolen.
60 years old.
Another nice round number.
I own this store here.
At least we did have one guy that was 38.
My blood type is A. I have a wife, a daughter,
And Sarah was 24.
I like to go fishing down
Yes.
at Liberty River.
Oh, that's interesting. So is he involved with the other
Yep.
fishers?
When me and the boys get together, there's no one who can beat me at 5-card studs.
Okay.
I was born in this town.
And you'll die here too.
Count?
Seems like.
Edward Robbins' oldest boy. I hate to speak ill of the dead. He
Uh-oh.
was the kind of man who wouldn't think twice about hurting others if he could profit from it.
Interesting. Not a fan of Bill Robbins.
He's a big man in this town. We went to high school together. He was top of his class, a real hard worker. Sorry, I don't know him.
Oh, I don't know Fred.
She's a regular. Comes in all the time, and she always has a smile on her face.
Okay.
Yes, he's the president of the HH company.
You see, we got a bunch of people we can ask about now.
I always thought she looked kind of sad for a newlywed.
Interesting.
I went to him once for a medical examination. He's a really good doctor.
So what's Simon going to be guilty of, since everybody likes him?
Name doesn't ring a bell. Who? No, I don't know her.
Okay.
That's the struggling writer who lives in an apartment building down the street. He's always boasting about this and that.
Interesting.
Never seems to be doing anything. I guess things are looking up for him, though. He's been buying like there's no tomorrow.
Who's that again?
Stanley Howard.
Oh,
Guy who's one of the Howards. The Howard's companies were having trouble. And all of a sudden he has money.
I don't know him.
so according to this guy, Bill Robbins will step on anybody, and this guy's trying to buy stuff. So
At 8 o'clock, as always, and did some scrubbing up. I was home by 9 o'clock.
So
someone
you could have
involved
done
in-
it.
No, nothing out of the ordinary.
Wasn't one of your...
I
whatever.
drive a brown station wagon.
Okay, I totally forgot what the car that was reported stolen was. But
Yes, yes. It disappeared 2 or 3 days before the murder. And when I heard that Bill Robbins was stabbed, I got real worried.
dun,
where's
dun,
the
dun.
butt?
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. I
That
thought
was
he was
it.
gonna say, but the night that was stolen was a different kind of night than the one he was murdered with.
No, well, he wouldn't know that. But you can tell it's over because he's got an end quote there. All right, is there anybody else? Nope. All right. I guess that's all we can get here. That's a little bit of information.
I think we've been playing this for
Yeah. So I don't think we're going to be able to
half an hour
actually
now.
do anything else. But we'll go back to the police station to wrap up here.
Maybe the real murderers were the suspects we made along the way.
Yeah, there we go.
You look
Police.
dead. Excuse the expression. Are you close to putting a lid on this case?
It'd be really funny if you just accused someone.
Yeah, you gotta get a warrant though. So basically, before we close it up, I'll just we already went to the record room, so you can go here. This guy will
Any new leads? Show me what you found.
if you find evidence, you can give it to him for analysis.
Hi, JP. How's the investigation going? You know, you're the one.
Okay, so this is gonna take a while, so I'm just gonna describe what the things do instead of actually going there. But you also have the prosecution, and that's where you can go to get a warrant if you feel like you have enough evidence to execute a search warrant or to arrest somebody. And once you've
Mr.
arrested
Bigger-
somebody, you go to the interrogation room to question them.
Obviously, Mr. Biggers did it. He just did not pass the vibe check.
Yeah. But there we go. Fortunately, not super fast paced, but I think people can kind of see what the gameplay loop is. So we'll stop there. Okay, there we go. So the game does encourage you to be thorough. I guess it's kind of emulating like real life police work where you got to get all this information. You got to get everyone's name and age, and I don't know why you'd want their blood type, but maybe that comes in. Maybe you find some blood stains on something and you can match the blood type.
Perhaps. I
that's conceivably
almost
important.
think it's funny how many people just know their blood type, because you ask people their blood type, they usually don't know.
Really? You don't know your blood type?
I know my blood type.
I know my
but
blood type.
The average person I ask doesn't usually know.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Generally, you're supposed to know that in case, you get in some trouble.
Yeah, there's a lot of supposed to in life.
Yeah. But, again, you do have to be thorough, but eventually you collect enough evidence that you can make some connections and collect evidence. I mean, even with where we were, we did see that we were building the number of topics that we could ask about, as well as the people we could ask about. So even the time we spent playing, you could see that those lists were getting longer. So unlike the Sherlock Holmes game we played previously, this is dynamic. You can go back and ask people about things you didn't know the first time you talked to them. So just just like a real case, you got to build it up gradually. So they didn't want it to be like, so they were aiming this game at adults, so they kind of made it a bit more realistic, unlike
bit more
some other
tedious.
unlike
as
some
if
other
adult-
kids
As if
games.
adults don't have like things to do.
Yeah, but maybe they would appreciate like, okay, building the case and making the connections, whereas kids were expecting like dramatic things to happen constantly, which is not really something that's gonna happen when you're actually investigating a case. I do
Yeah,
find
but like all that basic info could have just been a quick layout
yeah. Well,
instead
you
of
can keep in mind is
individual
this is
things.
like a 1986 PC game that shipped on floppy disk.
That doesn't excuse inefficiency.
I mean, I'm just saying it's difficult to do those kinds of things on the hardware of the time because you only have so much display space. And like for instance, there's something I would like to see is like would be nice to be able to like go to your notebook in the game and have all these things like filled in for you. But you have to consider that they would have had to store whether you'd obtained all this information in the save file, which is already kind of large for the amount of storage space that you would have had at the time. Like just storing the things that you absolutely need to do to progress the case. This is like a pretty big save file for the amount of save space you have on TurboGrafx CD. I think like the save RAM on TurboGrafx CD is like 2 kilobytes. Because keep in mind, it originally came out in 1988 and RAM was expensive. So instead, and I'm not sure what the manual in the US version looks like, but you see the Japanese version is you got this nice little full leather thing here. And there's actually a space for the back of the manual where you have like all the spaces like with everybody's name and things where you can write things down. Here we go. You'll see you got pictures of all the various characters and spaces to write down all that information that what I was just asking them about. Because they want you to mark that down.
Which is neat, but again, just like one button that gives you your basics, there's enough dialogue space for them to say, I'm so and so, I'm this old, I have this blood type, like all those tedious like top 4 questions could all be one sentence.
I don't know if that's like a convention thing or they didn't think of a thing or there's a technical reason why they couldn't do that thing. So I don't know enough about the internal workings of the game to say. But I mean, yeah, I'm sure that also like later games streamline things. The one interview I found with Riga Suzuki did say she was they were looking into ways to have the game put more of that information at your fingertips, so you didn't have to like write it down. You could just like look it up in like a database. But this again is the very first game of the series. I think there were 5 or 6 games total, and it has been widely ported. So maybe some of the other later versions do have some of the quality of life stuff you're looking for. It's hard to say because a lot of those weren't necessarily available internationally. Like there's a iOS and Android port of this game, but as far as I can tell, it's not available in English. The second game, I did check, is you can currently download the iOS version in English, though it hasn't been. I don't know how long that will be possible because it hasn't been updated in 5 years, and if you don't update your iOS games, they tend to break. But
I mean, if you have iOS, it just tends to break.
yeah, but
I don't see it on the Play Store.
Yeah, so I don't think that's available internationally. So you only have so many options. I will mention that this also got a DOS port, which was published in the US by Butterfield, who, of course, are famous for Where in the World's Carmen Sandiego.
Huh. I actually just
So-
watched a very in-depth video about Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, no, that was and we played it. So of course you've forgotten that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, one other thing I did want to mention is that after River Hill Soft went out of business, alumni of the company split out to various different companies. Rika Suzuki herself, along with one of the other founders of the company, went on to form Sing. That's CING, which is the company that made Trace Memory and Hotel Dusk. Hotel Dusk is actually one of my favorite DS games. It is a mystery game, much like JB Herald. So, and had made some really clever uses of like the DS functionality.
Interesting.
Like at one point, there's a book, and you have to like stamp something, so you actually close the DS. And it treats that as you pushing the pages of the book together.
That's amusing.
So that's a fun thing that it does with the DS functionality, and it's got like had a really unique art style. Kind of looks like the Take On Me video.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's got the sketchy like rotoscope, and it's like I think it's actually rotoscoped. So they do over like footage of real actors. So it's cool looking, and it's got a neat story. This is actually this really tough puzzle. I've got this fun story. It's like this tough puzzle. I finally managed to like you're locked in this room with some deadly gas or something, and you have to quickly like figure out how to escape. And it took me like forever to figure out how to do it, but I finally did it. Like a month later, like when I was working, this is when I was working at Game Crazy. We had like a customer who had the game, and we were talking about it. She mentioned that she was stuck there, and I was like, oh yeah. And I finally I remember that was really hard, but I couldn't remember how I solved it. I'm like, I don't remember what the solution was. She actually brought in her DS, and it's like, can you? And like I couldn't remember. I felt really bad because I just couldn't remember how I solved the puzzle. I couldn't figure it out again. It was a really tough one. But she went on to do other like great adventure games in the industry. And one of the other ones I remember is I think his name is Akihiro Hino. The founder of Level 5 was also a former River Hill Soft employee. Of course, Level 5 is famous for the Professor Layton series. And of course, they've also done the Pokemon like Yokai Watch, if you've heard of that.
I have.
Yeah, so
because of course everyone was like, it's the Pokemon killer, and it's like, yeah, it can be good. I'm not saying it ain't gonna be whatever, but like, yeah, it's gonna be the Pokemon killer. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure
That's
that
like
they didn't promote it that way, but
the
like,
blank. Some people called it that in articles and stuff, but I found it funny because it's like, yeah, anytime someone called something the Halo killer, yeah, ask what was that PlayStation game with the
Killzone?
well, that was one. There was another one where you injected yourself with something called nectar.
Oh, Haze.
And there was Haze, yeah.
Yes.
This is the Halo killer, and it's like,
that's from the Time Splitters guys, if I'm remembering correctly.
I heard it had some good concepts, but it fell flat.
Yeah, that's a shame because I actually have Future Perfect, and that's actually a pretty fun game. So I can't play it too long. Yeah, but this is this River Hill Soft actually ended up being pretty influential in the industry. And I do think this game is interesting. I know you're very impatient and don't want to sit there and go through all the
I would never play this game ever because it's too tedious.
I don't
like details, but when you make the game tedious, then it's not fun.
I mean, as a compulsive reader, I didn't mind it too much. I'll click through that dialogue. It's not a big deal to me.
Right, but it wouldn't seem like it moved fast enough for my reading ability, because I could skim through all of those questions and have all of that information in like 30 seconds.
I will say that if you want to move faster, the voices are actually off by default. So if you want to skim through that faster, you can just leave the voices off. I just, I thought it would be fun to hear the voices. Like,
Oh, yeah.
depending on how I feel, I might leave it on just because I like that little extra color. I might turn it off because I need to move faster. But if you want to just be able to, blast through the dialogue, you can just leave the voices off, and that'll let you just skip through it faster.
Yeah, like how people want voice dialogue in Pokemon as if they're not just going to be skipping through it anyway.
I mean, I wish that you did still let you skip it if you didn't want to listen to it, or if you accidentally selected something twice. But again, if you don't want the voice dialogue, you can just turn it off to move through things faster. But other than that, I did want to mention there is one other way to play this that is available internationally. There is a Japanese service that lets you play old Japanese home computer games called Project Egg. They do have like an English version of the site, so you can subscribe from overseas. It is so the way it works, I will kind of say it'd be kind of like, imagine if Nintendo brought back the Virtual Console, but you couldn't buy anything from it unless you had a Switch Online subscription. So basically, there is a subscription fee. I think it's like 500 yen a month if it hasn't changed since the last time I looked at it, which is around $5, give or take, depending on what the exchange rate is. But I think you get like 20 to 30 games included, and you can buy additional games. You do have to have a subscription to buy games, but
so it's the Google Stadia model.
It's a little weird. So you do download them, and if you buy games, the games you buy, you can continue playing them. If you cancel your subscription, though obviously you lose access to the games that you just get for subscribing. But that does have Murder Club DX, which is the Sharp X68000 version for the Sharp X68000 home computer. So that will look pretty similar to this, though of course that was a fairly powerful computer for the time. So it's probably like higher resolution, possibly more colors. I don't know how the color depth compares. So that version can also be set to English. So that is an option if you want to play the game. And of course, there are some there's some action there's more than one action game on the service that you can play without any real Japanese knowledge. So if Japanese computer stuff, which is a bit obscure here in the West, is something you're interested in, it might be worth around $5 a month for you to get a Project A subscription to look at that stuff and buy the occasional extra additional game that you're interested in. They do sometimes go on sale too, so you might be able to get them for just a couple bucks on top of your subscription. So that's an interesting service. I don't really need any more subscriptions right now, so I can't vouch for Project Egg myself, but I've heard it's fine. Their emulator is fine. It's worthwhile. It might be worthwhile if that's something interesting to you. Other than that, again, you can either find the U.S. copy or an import copy. They're both bilingual, so I think the Japanese copy will probably be cheaper unless you're just getting hit with really bad shipping fees. But this is a decent port of the home computer game, so this is the way to play it. As I mentioned, the sequel, which I believe is Manhattan Requiem, is still available on iOS, and I think Blue Chicago Blues is getting the Saturn version of that is getting a fan translation.
Interesting.
Yes. So there was an English version of that, but it is for Pioneer Laseractive, which is a video game system built around laser discs, which
I actually just watched a video about it was actually I think that was part of the video I watched about Carmen Sandiego. I want to say there were some Laserdisc games produced.
Possibly.
Now lost to the ether because they fall apart.
Guess what? Laserdiscs are expensive. Well,
they also fall apart. So something I learned is that they're basically glued together in layers.
Yes.
And the glue can rot, and the disc will fall apart.
Yes, disc rot is a real thing. There's some preservation projects. People are trying to scan the discs to preserve them, because there was some stuff that was only on Laserdisc. There was some very interesting. I mean, at the time, it was the best format for video quality. Plus, you had random access like you would on a CD, but it's on an analog format, rather than a digital format like DVDs and Blu-rays. So, there are problems with preserving it. But I don't want actually, Laserdisc aren't necessarily expensive, like just for movies. But when you talk about laser active, that's a very rare system. Many, if not all, the games are very rare. You are very unlikely to be playing the laser active version of Blue Chicago Blues. In the meantime, you can get like a copy of the Saturn game for like $15. So if that fan translation materializes, that probably be a pretty good way to play a JB Hero game, which is, of course, later. So it's gonna, I don't know how the gameplay has changed, but obviously it's gonna look and sound better. So that's the thing. But anyhow, if you enjoyed following along with our investigation, make sure you give this episode a like. If you want to, make sure you perform a complete interrogation of any of our future videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel. I've been Dan Mastriani. You can catch me on Twitter, which is, as of this recording, still a functioning website, at New Type Cola.
I'm Ian Butterfield. You can find me at ENG Butterfield. You can find the show at Retro Game CNCT, Facebook.com/Retro Game Connect, and RetroGameConnect.tumblr.com. Drop down in the comments below. Let us know what you thought of the games we played, or if there are any games you'd like us to play. I just realized there's no point in adding that because we have all of our episodes planned out.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you wanted to address that yet, but
how many episodes do we have left after this one? I don't know the release order.
So this one's coming out this month, so we're gonna have at least 2 more months.
So life's changing and life's moving on, and we're coming to the end of the show here.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly is going to happen. We can discuss this later when we're actually. We got a finale coming.
At least the end of the 2 of us hosting it, because I'm probably going to end up moving to Rhode Island here soon, and I'm not driving to Farmington.
I would not ask you to drive in from Rhode Island.
But yeah, so follow on the social medias to find out what the hell's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to close that, and of course, we got a good 2 months more content coming for you. So we're not going to be able to meet your request because we already got everything planned out, and we're going to be shooting it soon, and that's all going to be in the can. But hey, please still like and comment, and we've got over 350 episodes.
We might have already covered the game you were going to ask.
Yeah. Go ahead and look through the backlog. We got stuff for you, man.
I know we did an episode about Okami.
Yes. Keep an eye on the channel. I mean, maybe I'll miraculously meet a new co-host while we're shooting the finale. Like I randomly met Ian, who wasn't even in my class at CSB, but just happened to be there on the day that our class finished.
Yep. That's how we.
Maybe we'll tell that story in the finale, but for now, I guess we'll just wrap it up. And most important thing is to make sure you join us next time on Retro Game Connect.